How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the video. Dylan Johnson here, and today I'm going to take you through one of my leg workouts. This is going to be a calf and quad focused workout, and we're going to be doing 7 different exercises followed by 3 functional plyometric movements at the end of our workout in order to spike our heart rate and finish strong and finish with a nice strong pump. Now, before we actually get into our workout, we want to start off by warming up the muscles. We can do this in several different ways. You can either do some cardio for 5 to 10 minutes, or for me, what I like to do is I'll actually do some dynamic stretching followed by a little bit of foam rolling. And I've found that this helps break down any kind of muscle tissue that's a little bit sore, any kind of scar tissue, knots, things like that. And what we're really trying to focus on here is warming up the body, getting the blood flowing, and getting the muscles ready to work out. Now, once we finish our warm-up, what we're actually going to start with is calves. A lot of people tend to have lagging body parts, and when it comes to legs, calves are normally the #1 lagging body part. What that means is in order to get them to grow a little bit faster, we want to hit them first while we're fresh and while we're as strong as possible. That way we can hit them as hard as possible before we move on to the rest of our legs. That means that we're going to start off with standing calf raises on the Smith machine for 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps. To get set up for this exercise, what I want you to do is grab a couple of 25-pound plates, throw them under the Smith machine, and that's going to be the base that we're actually going to stand on. What this will do is it'll help us get a little bit greater range of motion throughout the entire movement so that we're able to really focus on that stretch at the bottom, hold that for about a second before coming up and squeezing as hard as we can at the top, and again, holding that for a fraction of a second. Once we finish with this, we're going to move into a superset between calf press on a leg press machine and a standing calf raise. For the calf press, we're going to be doing 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps, and then for the standing calf raise, we're going to try and do as many reps as we possibly can before we hit failure. Now, what I want you guys to focus on during the calf press is a couple of things. First, avoid locking out your knees as much as possible because that will tend to put you at a greater risk of injury. And another thing that it'll do, if you don't lock your knees out, you can actually get a greater range of motion. So you're able to work the calf and work the muscle a little bit more as opposed to locking out your knees. Once we finish with that, we're going to go straight into our standing calf raises. So I want you guys to find something that you can stand on so you can get, again, that greater range of motion, and then we're going to try and do as many reps as we possibly can. On this movement, if you have to, grab onto something and use it to help keep your balance, but avoid leaning on it to help take away from the movement itself because we want to try and use our body weight as much as possible. Once we finish with our calves, we're going to move straight into our first compound movement. This is going to be a box squat for 4 sets of 6 to 8 reps. So we're going to be going a little bit heavier. Now, to set up for this movement, I want you guys to find a box to where when you're sitting on it, your legs are as parallel to the floor as possible. Now, once you guys finish your warm-up, there's a few things I want you to focus on during your working sets. First, I want you to try and pause all momentum when you're sitting on the box. That means don't do a tap and go. I want you to sit down, pause for a second so that everything stops, and then drive up as hard as possible. This is going to really focus on getting that power at the bottom of a squat. So this is a great exercise in order to help increase your squat and increase other compound movements. Now, once we finish with our box squats, we're going to move straight into a training technique I like to call lucky sevens on leg extensions. We're going to do 3 total sets of this. Now, if you guys haven't heard of these before, these are my own variation on 21s. What we're going to do is 7 reps focusing on a 4-second negative, and immediately follow that up with 7 partial reps focusing only on the top portion of the movement. Once we finish that, we're going to do 7 full reps to burn out the muscle as much as possible. That's going to finish off 1 set. So we're going to do that 3 total times and really focus on burning out the quads, pumping as much blood into them and expanding the muscle fascia in order to encourage hypertrophy as much as possible. This is a great training technique to use on just about any movement. Just be sure that when you're doing it, focus on your form because you will start to fatigue pretty quickly. Now that we've finished that, we're going to move into our last heavy exercise, and this is going to be goblet squats for 4 sets of 12 reps, followed by 10 reps, followed by 8, and then another 8. On this movement, a couple things to note is I want you guys to actually be leaning forward a little bit more as opposed to a standard goblet squat where you're just standing straight up. What this is going to do is it's going to put the weight over your knees and over the center of your feet. Now what that does is it treats this more like a front squat so that we're going to put a little bit more emphasis on our quads as opposed to the rest of our legs. Try and go down to where you're hitting at least parallel, and for me, I like to go for a little bit wider stance on this. It allows me to get that little deeper range of motion. Once we move into that, we're going to move straight into our final series of exercises. This is going to be a circuit composed of functional bodyweight plyometric movements in order to spike our heart rate at the end of our workout and really focus on pumping up our legs as much as we can to finish them off strong. Now what we're going to be doing is 3 total circuits with 3 different exercises. Each exercise is going to be performed for 20 seconds, so we're not counting our reps, we're counting our time here. The first exercise is going to be a box jump. On this, avoid grabbing a box that's too high because you're already going to be pretty fatigued, and the more you go into these circuits, the greater fatigue that's going to build up, so I don't want you guys getting hurt. After that, we're going to move straight into standing jump squats. On this one, try to land on your toes as much as possible so that you can absorb that impact coming down and absorb it with your legs. This is really going to help focus a little bit more of that momentum and focus that energy into your legs as opposed to the rest of your body, and help keep your knees and your ankles from getting too sore. Once we finish with that, we're going to go straight into jump lunges. Now in this movement, you want to be a little bit more careful so you don't smash your knee into the ground. Trust me, I've done that before. It's not fun. But again, on this, go for 20 seconds and try and count those seconds, not the reps. Once you finish that, that's going to be 1 circuit. We're going to rest for about 60 seconds, and we're going to perform 3 total circuits of these exercises. And that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the workout. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit the subscribe if you aren't already to catch more great videos like this all the time, and also hit that little bell in the corner so you can be notified anytime I upload another video. Now, follow me down below on all the social media platforms that I have linked in the description. And if you ever have any questions about anything at all, fitness related, camera related, nutrition, whatever it may be, leave a comment down below or hit me up on any of the social media platforms linked in the description as well. And I'm always happy to help you guys out in any way that I can. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Oh, I missed. Oh well. See ya.